And we are now on to our last presenter, Caroline Sjoka. I think I got that okay? Of Overplay. The floor is yours, Caroline.
So, hi everyone. I am Caroline Sjoka. I am one of the founders of Overplay, and Overplay is a no-code solution for turning any video into a game. So the way I like to describe Overplay, it's almost like TikTok for gaming. So you put up a video on YouTube, you put up a video on TikTok, you put up a video on Instagram, and now imagine that you can make it interactive in minutes. And so what I can show you here is Overplay. It's currently in beta, both for iOS and Android. You may see we have a few proof of concepts here. You might recognize some brands that we're doing some cool stuff with. But yeah, Overplay, these are snackable games, 30 to 45-second games that now you can make into tapping, swiping, driving, jumping games. And so it actually makes your video much more interactive and much more fun. I'm going to show you an example of what that kind of is. This is a commercial that we actually made into a game. It is a Pepsi, Bad Bunny, Apple Music commercial. This is a very simple game. It's a swiping and a tapping game. You may not be able to hear it, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be tapping along with the song. So I'm getting points based for how accurately I'm putting in the taps. You can see the points I'm getting up here. And there's interactive animations coming out of the side. So that particular game took our team maybe about 10 minutes to make. So the way that happened is that we literally, we got permission from Pepsi, we pulled the video right from YouTube and fed it into Overplay, and then just added in taps and swipes. So we slowed the video down, added in taps and swipes exactly where we wanted it to go. And basically Overplay, our technology, read those taps and swipes, put it as a layer, packaged it as a layer on top of the video, and now we had a game. And so let me just quickly show you the crazy stuff that we have on Overplay right now. It's social media, it's POV videos, it's ads. This is a brand new Halloween video that someone had. So Overplay has the patents for everything here. Everything that I'm talking about, we have the patents for and more. We also have this kind of cool patent of seamless integration. We have a seamless transition between portrait and landscape, which is really interesting that not even YouTube has. So Overplay, a little bit about us. My co-founder and I actually come from Sesame Street. I used to run digital media business development at Sesame, and Dan ran interactive production. We were always thinking about ways that our content could be taken further. It's very expensive to film Sesame Street. And so we were always thinking about how could we use this in a game? How could we use this in an app? And so we were always thinking about the long tail of that content. And then also we were making games, and the cheapest game that we could make for Sesame would be something like $25,000, right? So very, very expensive to make games. You have to, and it takes a long time. And so basically we came up with a solution for a light layer of gaming that sits on top of streaming video that anyone can make. And we really feel that this is what the future is for social media and for media. As you can imagine how this can be used, it could be used anywhere where streaming video plays. So this could eventually be on YouTube, this could be on TikTok, but it also could be on Formula1.com, right? Where Formula One is able to create games based on races that literally just happened. And they're able to put it on Formula1.com and own their audience, be able to create really cool interactive experiences on their website. And then sponsors are able to create interactive ads against it. So just like that Pepsi commercial, now you have an interactive ad that you could have against it. And so we're kind of like this crazy cool cross of streaming video, gaming, ad tech, all wrapped into one. It's a $574 billion market, and we don't know of any company that is creating content that wouldn't want to use Overplay. We were on Shark Tank. Mark Cuban has invested in us, but we've also have a lot of other cool venture capitalists that have invested in us, including the Adobe Fund for Design Singularity Ventures, which we share with Luca. They're also an investor in us. Village Global, Angels, Sound Media Ventures. So we have a bunch of really great venture capitalists behind us, whose LPs are Mark Zuckerberg and Reid Hoffman and those guys. We currently have about 1.5 million games played, actually a little bit over that. We have over 250,000 downloads already. We're in beta since June. We also have 23 times more engagement than regular video, and that's just based off of the research that we've been doing. We have a full-time researcher on with Overplay. Our team is about 20 people right now. We've been predominantly product focused until this point. We've raised about $6 million in total so far, and we're raising a brand new round of funding. That funding is going to actually help us in building an API. So the goal for Overplay is eventually to be ubiquitous. Right now, we are an app for iOS and Android. It's a free app that you can download. Anyone can download it right now, play games that were made by other people, or you can make your own games, try it out. But our eventual goal is to build an API so that way Overplay's technology can be wrapped up into that API and then integrated onto other apps and websites. So for instance, ESPN.com could have game playable highlights reels and interactive commercials on ESPN.com. And that's all powered by Overplay. And we're not monetizing yet, so we're pre-revenue. Our business model will be on our own app. It will be interactive ads. And so all of our ads will also be games. As you're kind of going through, you might not even realize it's an ad because it's such a fun game. So it's going to be interactive ads and in-app purchases. On the API side, that's going to be a B2B SaaS model. So that will be rolled out in 2025. So yeah, this round of funding is going towards building the API and then also bringing in key hires that we need. And we're currently doing proof of concepts with some of the biggest media companies in the world. I can't announce it quite yet, but these are the big guys. They're very interested in Overplay. Just to talk a little bit about what exits have been in this space. Adobe offered to buy Figma for $20 billion last year, but there's every day Meta, Google, and other folks are buying technology like this. But we do believe that Overplay is a big one, and I'm super excited to be here and talk more about it. So I'll let Jerry and anyone else who wants to ask me questions. I'm happy to show you guys more, but yeah.
Thanks, Caroline, and congrats on the tech. I mean, this obviously is it's a sort of a new frontier in interaction in getting consumers to engage with video. So what I'm hearing from you is that you really have tied up the IP on this. So there really is going to be it's going to be a challenge for anyone to try to mimic. So Snap or Insta or TikTok isn't able to simply replicate what you're doing without it being in direct violation of your patents, correct?
That is correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you've been proving the model out. Just if you threw up an app, people could download and play with it, and you're trying to just study to see how people are behaving with it and engaging with it and learning. And what you're saying is that the bigger play here is open up an API. So the big media companies, big influencers, you name it, they want to actually be able to license your technology, create a more interactive experience with their audience. And that's going to be a B2B SaaS mechanism. Is there a rev share on advertising, or is it just purely you're licensing the tech to them and they're going to deal with monetization on their side through ads?
Yeah, there will be a rev share on advertising, definitely on our own app for sure. And we do envision that influencers and other folks will be making, ads for, Under Armour or Pepsi or whatever, and that it'll be really cool that there's going to be this whole new world of creators, right? Game creators for the first time, because you don't have to be an engineer now to make a game, which is really kind of cool. So we're kind of envisioning this whole new world of creators. So there's absolutely going to be rev share there with the actual websites, say Formula One or ESPN or Sesame Street. If they decide to have interactive ads or interactive sponsorship messages that are actually on their site, it's probably going to be a little bit of a discussion, because just from coming from Sesame Street, I know that they would love to have interactive sponsorship messages probably, but those are sponsorship messages because Sesame is like a nonprofit. So it's probably going to be a case by case scenario a little bit there, but we do envision that sponsors, especially for these brands, are going to love this stuff because also, by the way, there's a leaderboard. There's different ways that you can reward fans. So it's kind of like fans almost have that incentive to play because maybe they get a coupon now for buying that Monster Energy drink, or maybe if they play the Taylor Swift game, they get added into a sweepstakes for, Taylor Swift concert tickets or something like that, right? So there's now much more interaction than you would have from like a regular commercial.
And that part of the tech, which I think is super interesting, is that part of the tech going to be on your side of the ledger, or is this something that your partners are going to be building? They're just licensing your tech.
This is on our side. Yeah. So we
Okay.
actually have the technology around that. And what we're actually envisioning is that there's going to be certain options, right, that you're given as an API user.
Mhm.
And so, and there's certain options where you're going to be able to, roll out the maybe it's a digital coupon or discounts, or it is a way to kind of, as I mentioned, enter into a sweepstakes or whatever. So all of those bells and whistles are built into the back end of our tech. And so it'll kind of come as a package deal for the brands that want to use Overplay.
And these types of businesses are insanely expensive to build a TikTok, a Snap level type of scaled social media engagement platform. You're raising, tell us a little bit about the raise now. Where does that get you? And then what's after that? Because it looks like you're going to have to bring more capital in to really take advantage of this opportunity. So what's that look like?
Yeah, so we do have a couple sides of Overplay. So we will continue to have our own app. We are in a way our best first customer, and then we also will have the API that we're building out. Luckily, it's all using the same technology, And so we're raising a $5 million round right now, of which we have raised about 2 million so far, hard circled. So we have 3 million more. We're raising both institutional and as a WeFunder. And so we're talking with both with funds, angels, and also, of course, our retail audience at WeFunder. And yeah, so as I mentioned, this round, it's a lot of it's going to build the API and then also bring on the key hires that we need to bring on a couple more engineers for building out the API. And then we need to bring on marketing folks and different kind of folks on the business side that we're going to bring on. That round of funding is going to take us through to about 18 months. And then after that, we do envision raising a priced Series A round, but also at that time, we'll also be monetizing, hopefully with these big media partners that I mentioned, who we're currently doing proof of concept with. So hopefully they'll sign on to our API. And I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, I can announce who we're doing the proof of concepts with, but they are the biggest media companies in the world right now. So.
Awesome. Nick, do you have any questions from the audience?
Yeah, we did have one actually from our VIP investors. So the question is, who is your target audience for Overplay? How do you have proof of concept that Overplay will reach and connect with that audience?
Sure. Yeah, so it's TikTok users, right? So it's folks who are consuming short form video. Everyone always automatically thinks we're going after the gamers. We're actually not going after gamers, right? Maybe casual gamers, but it's really most of us who are consuming short form video through Instagram Reels, through YouTube, through TikTok. And so these are snackable games, 30 to 45-second games. They could be longer as well, but it's about kind of getting that quick jolt of fun and being rewarded for it, hopefully connecting further with brands. And yeah, the early adopters are probably teens, young adults. Those are probably the early adopters, but I see us all using Overplay eventually because it's just so easy. And then that is on the user side for like the end user actually playing the games. But then we envision that brands and advertisers and content creators, the Formula Ones of the world, the WWEs, the ABC Sports, I know I'm naming a lot of sports here, but we also, by the way, Overplay we found was just brought into schools in New York. So Iona University actually just adopted Overplay for their esports class, Esports 101, All of the students now have to make 4 Overplay games as part of their final exam. We just spoke with a bunch of teachers who are looking to engage students with their curriculum and also get kids to make games based off of what they're learning in school. So imagine chemistry games or math games, times tables games, now made from video that teachers can make and that students can make and share with each other. So we envision that our technology is going to be used in all sorts of ways that we're not even can conceive of yet. We weren't targeting the ed tech space, but they came after us. So they discovered the tech and came after us. So here we are. We're running really fast right now. So let's see what's next.
Awesome.
I believe you kind of just answered this question, but Suzanne did hop in and ask, can you see this as a fun way to get kids to eat healthy and exercise, kids challenge activities, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. We actually did have a PE teacher. I actually spoke last weekend on a virtual ed tech seminar, which I was invited to. And there were actually a few PE teachers who wanted to get kids active and making games, because actually the best overplays, you actually have to get up and do something, right? And so this is not like a lean back kind of activity where you're mindlessly scrolling. Yes, you are playing, but when you actually make a game, get up and do something. Put on that GoPro, go for a run, go skiing, like capture a video of your dog jumping into leaves, turn that into a game. It could be really anything, but this is also could be like meme style games. So we've had a user make a Kamala Harris coconut tree, based on that coconut tree TikTok video. Somebody made that into a game. It's one of our top games on Overplay right now. Yeah, it's this, but we really do want kids and everybody getting up and doing something. I think it could cause and there could also be challenges around getting up and doing something, right? And filming that and turning that into a game. So I think, yeah, there's all sorts of ways to use Overplay.
Awesome. And I'll just ask the last one, maybe consider this the lightning round, but Darren asks, what percentage of revenue do you project from commercial/advertising versus monthly recurring revenue from the SaaS subscription model?
Oh my goodness, such a great question. Such a great question. Okay. My gut feel is that Overplay's bread and butter is going to be the API model. It's going to be the B2B SaaS where people are adopting this for their, but that's going to be a reoccurring, monthly revenue that's coming from on the API side. However, advertising, there has not been real innovation in advertising in a long time. And I think Overplay could be it, right? And so imagine that you have a big ad network who now adopts Overplay, right? And is offering it to the, Cokes and Pepsis of the world and to, to all of these brands, right? Frito-Lay, whoever, and now they're making interactive ads for their brands, right? So who knows? We'll see what wins, but I do think that somehow we're going to be monetizing Overplay. It's going to be big, and yeah, I'm excited to see how it plays out. So we're running hard with it. Yeah.
Great.